All right, let's make sure everything is going well here. Let's actually click that. No. All right, here we go. All right. So today's Wednesday, and I figured I should just do, just do a quick hangouts, just talk about this real quick. And as I get started, I want to give a shout out to my brother Other Zinc and Sega Man because both of them brought this to my attention about PlayStation VR and the price. And the price is absurd. It's going to be $550 US. That's dead on arrival. That's dead on arrival if I ever saw it, man. And and let's not sit here and pretend that the first PlayStation VR lit the world on fire. Sorry, just making sure I'm getting everything together. Yeah, let's not act like the first PlayStation VR lit the world on fire. It's 5 million units for a console that sold over 200,000. Hey, Zinc, what's up, man? I know you're out there building houses in Chicago, but if you like to join, I could send you a link real quick. If not, just kick back and relax and enjoy. And he said, made it, and what was that? He said, $5.99 with a bundled copy of Horizon Forbidden Entertainment. Yeah, man. That price is just dead on arrival. And the thing about PlayStation VR is that, from my understanding, you need a PlayStation console to run it. So if you haven't already dropped $500 on a PlayStation 5 console, you essentially got what, dead weight on your hands. And again, we're talking about PlayStation VR one barely passed 5 million units for a console that sold 110 million consoles, 120 million, whatever number Sony wants to throw out there these days. So when Other Zinc brought this to my attention, I was stunned. I was stunned beyond belief, man, because it's crazy to price yourself out the market like this. $550 for the headset, for the VR headset alone, $600 for a copy of Horizon Forbidden West. It's $150 more expensive than the Oculus Quest 2. What are we doing here, man? What are we doing here? The Oculus, it's $150 more expensive than the Oculus Quest 2, according to this article here. And none here just makes sense. $50 for a PlayStation VR2 charging stand. Look at that. That's absurd, Zinc. Um, I've never. I can't think of this is gouging your audience, man. This is gouging your consumer base to the next level. This is some unreal pricing. $200 for the PlayStation VR controller. Oh my god, this pricing doesn't make sense, Zinc. Now I'm sure what Zinc is pointing out is all sold individually. There's no way possible that for 450 you're not getting the PlayStation controller and the stand with the original bundle. If not, then that's just criminal. That's just criminal, man. And Zinc said PlayStation VR 2 not compatible with the PC. Yeah. Again, everything Zinc is saying, that's just more proof that this is a dead on arrival product that I don't even know why. I think Sony at this point is only selling it because they invested in VR. All right. So we know for a fact PSVR 1 didn't sell, didn't light the world on fire, barely passed 5 million units. There's a reason why, Sony's never bragged about the sales of the PlayStation VR 1. This is Sony we're talking about. They brag about it. Once they hit a milestone, they'll be the first to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And there's a reason we never really heard about sales of the PlayStation VR 1. And I just don't understand this move here. This move is wild to me because it's wild to me because the pricing is so astronomical. In the US, it's more expensive in the United States to buy a PlayStation VR 2 than a PlayStation 5 console. Hold on one second. Going to mute myself really. All right, I'm back, folks. Yeah. So the pricing is just so astronomically baffling that something like this is just dead in the water to me. Just dead in the water. No questions asked. Let me ask you this: even if you're the biggest PlayStation fan out there, are you really dropping 550 on a PlayStation VR next February? Are you really? After Christmas, after your Christmas shopping, after your holiday spending, what are you gonna do? Blow your tax money on it? Nah, I just don't see it. I don't see. I don't see. I don't care how this thing reviews. The price is just not budget friendly, family friendly, consumer friendly, however you want to put it. Um. So yeah, man, a PlayStation VR 2 dead on rival, and I know that they tried to and I know that they tried to announce some games and stuff. But the thing is, those PlayStation VR games, they're super gimmicky. They're super gimmicky. I'm sure you could have fun with it. I'm sure, but no, listen, nothing, nothing. Excuse me, nothing beats the traditional gaming experience, man. Nothing. And so I just received a text here for Zinc, and the Canadian prices. I'm sorry for my Canadian brothers and sisters, like Kenny Jago. PlayStation VR 2 Canadian prices $750. The one that's bundled with Horizon Call of the Mountain, $820. A charging station, $65. Yeah, you're not buying that. You're not buying that. All right, you're just not. You're not buying it at that price. At most, when it has a steep discount, and by steep discount, I mean when they chunking off hundreds and hundreds off that price, maybe people start buying it, but nobody's buying the PlayStation VR at this price. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Look, we're talking about the same Sony that can't retain PlayStation Plus subscribers even after they relaunched it to quote unquote make it better. And I've always said that that PlayStation Plus relaunch, the essential and all that, is their competitor to Game Pass. I don't care what anyone says. People could try to deny it all they want, but this PlayStation losing nearly 2 million subscribers on PlayStation Plus after the relaunch, showing that the game like Stray, not enough to keep people there. This all kind of ties together, man. That Sony is a terribly run company, a poorly run company, if you will. This is why that you know now, ever since the Activision deal, the gaming media tries to pretend that Sony's this poor widow company that can't survive behind Microsoft, and it's because of moves like this. Moves like this is why Phil Spencer never brought VR to Xbox. Because there isn't a strong market for it. There just isn't. How in the world does the PlayStation 4 apparently sells 110 plus million consoles, and the VR one only does 5 million? What the hell do you think VR 2 is going to do? Even if the the whales, I think that's what they call them, right? People who buy, who don't mind dropping large amounts of money on products. I don't think that there's enough wells to make something like that sustainable. This is absolutely ridiculous. This pricing is ridiculous. I don't see how I haven't checked to see the general reaction. So I don't know if people are defending it or not. I wouldn't be surprised if they would. I just know that if Xbox release fucking a VR headset for $550 more expensive than the Xbox Series X, I ain't touching it. I ain't touching it, man. Look, I own a lot of controllers. I never even bought an elite controller because spending between 150 to 180 on the elite controller just feels like a little much to me. You know, and I've always said if I do buy an elite controller, it's because money at that time is extremely good and I could drop money like that. But even that is under $200. This is $550 American. I I just I like this pricing. I don't know this. I haven't seen pricing like this that shoot your own product in the foot in a long time. This is worse than the you remember how people used to bitch about the Xbox One being $500? This is way worse because this isn't even a primary way of gaming. At least the Xbox One was a console that played console games and had all the features. This is just gimmicky garbage. Nintendo released cardboard before, and it wasn't this ridiculously overpriced. Zeke said, "I can't find any podcaster talking about this." Man, I don't blame him. I don't blame him because when you see that price, you just throw your hands up like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. You already know the result of this, seeing that price. All right, this isn't. I don't even know what to compare this to off the top of my head, Zinc. Because look, man, it's $550 freaking dollars. That is so absurd that I don't know what you do with that, man, other than just call out the obvious. It's dead. Dead on arrival, dead out the water. Why even release it if you're going to price it this much? Why even release it at this point? Where are the podcasters that are mad about Xbox price increase that haven't happened yet? Hey, that is a great point, Other Zinc. So yeah, man. If you don't know what Other Zinc was referring to, Phil Spencer, I think last week talked about a potential price increase that hasn't even happened, might happen in the future. Most likely for Game Pass. I doubt it for the console. But and everybody wanted people to wanted the Xbox community to be angry and outraged over it, right? They want them to talk. Hey, why don't you talk about the price increase? What price increase? Matter of fact, the last time Xbox tried to do a price increase on Xbox Live, everybody bitched so hard they reversed it in less than 24 hours. So but however, there's no way possible a PlayStation fan is happy with this. You can't be. This is look. You're not going to see any gameplay of this. You're not going to see any large sales. You're not going to see any unboxings unless it was given free by those YouTubers who get everything free, right? Uh, so hey, good luck. Good luck with that, man. PlayStation 1 barely did 5 million units. PlayStation VR ain't touching that. It's just not touching that. And and now there was also some other interesting gaming news, man. And that's this report of Eidos Montreal contributing to the development of Fable from Playground Games. Now, this I do want to talk about because this excites me a lot. Um, Eidos Montreal, I think, is a great developer in that they made some games I really love. The Deus Ex games, excellent RPGs. My 2021 game of the year, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which was a fantastic game. And the fact that they're putting their talents behind Fable from Playground Games on their Xbox, I'm all in. I am all in because they know how to make some damn fun levels in gameplay design. Let's see. Zinc said, "Idols Montreal are great developers." Yes, they are, Zinc. Yes, they are. I think they're absolutely great, and I think Fable's going to be even better now that I know this because Fable is using the Forza engine, right? And and by the way, for people who try to spin this as a bad thing, developers help multiple dev teams work on games all the fucking time. Like 14 developing developers worked on The Last of Us 2, and that was linear garbage. All right, now we're talking about the return to Xbox, a most prominent RPG series being made by one of their arguably one of their best developer teams in Playground Games, and Eidos Montreal is throwing their weight to it. Sign me up. This is up there with how Crystal Dynamics, who also did the Tomb Raider reboot, is helping with the initiative on Perfect Dark. You won't find me complaining about that. We're talking about teams that has made great games, helping other studios make more great games. You know, excellent news to me. And this is kind of funny that all this is happening after Square comes out and says that the Japanese market is no longer enough because Square used to own these companies, Eidos and Crystal Dynamics, and they could have easily had some checks from Microsoft coming in. Now it looks like it's going to Embracer Group. Some people have even put it out there about a potential sell after this Activision deal goes through of Eidos and Crystal Dynamics being sold to Microsoft. If that happens, I'd be okay with that too. I'd be okay with that too. Because look, man, these are great developing teams, and Microsoft could use some action adventure. Excuse me, Microsoft could use some action adventure games under their library. They got pretty much everything else. They got first person shooters, racers, third person shooters, RTSs, um, strategy games, RPGs, Western RPGs. So having the action adventure genre from like the Tomb Raider style and the Guardians of the Galaxy style under their belt, if that happens, yeah, I think that would be fantastic as well. I think that would be absolutely fantastic as well. So at this point, man, I know Phil said in an interview he's excited for a 2023 lineup, and so am I. So am I. Redfall, Starfield, Forza, the big three that we know are coming in the first half of the year, and then potentially Avowed or Hellblade 2 in the fall or winter time. Yeah, I think that'd be an excellent year. Now, with that said, I do want to see some release dates now. Because we got release dates on pretty much everything else, but they're big first party games. So I definitely would love to get some release dates from these big titles, man. We're in November now, 2 months away from the new year. Give us some release dates. You know what I'm saying? I would love that. I would love a collector's edition for Starfield in particular. I think a collector's edition for that would be brilliant because it's their first new IP in 25 years. Bethesda's always done big collector's editions. Go look up the Skyrim one they did back in 2011. Fallout 4 collector's edition they did in 2015. I would eat that up, man. Especially if it comes out during a time when money's good. You know damn well I buy everything as it is. You know damn well I'll be buying that collection editions, no questions asked. Yeah, man. So that's the only thing I'm asking from Microsoft for the rest of 2022 is let's get some release dates. Let's get some release dates for that Forza. Look, in turn 10 said Forza Motorsport is going to be a generational leap, and after seeing that preview this summer, I fucking believe them. And not that I doubted them, not that I ever doubted them, because Forza is the best racing game ever. And by the way, people talking about Forza Horizon, my favorite racing game of last generation was Forza Motorsport 7. That was actually my favorite one. So that kind of puts it into perspective and how excited I am for Forza Motorsport 2023. And Zink said he'd like to see the release date. Yeah, and a special console. Yes, that'll be excellent, man. That'll be excellent. Hey, what's up, Dirk Griggity? Hey, nothing much, man. Nothing much, man. I saw your video earlier. Dirt always killing it on these video game related videos, and so I was throwing my hat into the ring on the topic, and I started the show earlier talking about PlayStation VR, dead on arrival at $550 US, man, and look, man, that is just shooting yourself in the foot. That's just shooting yourself in the foot if I've ever seen it. Horrible pricing. I don't know. I genuinely don't know anybody who's gonna buy it. I genuinely don't. It's one thing to drop $500 on a console because your console is going to last you for years. VR, let's be real, is essentially just a gimmick. All right, and it's not a popular one at that. You know, yeah, man, $550 is insanity. And then the one bundled with the Horizon game is $600. None of that pricing makes absolutely zero sense. And here's the thing. Sony and their hardware business, they've always kind of been known for having expensive products like expensive TVs and whatever the case they sold throughout the years. But this is nonsense. This is absolute nonsense. You could in theory, make a case that okay, selling a TV a few $100 more than a Samsung TV. It probably has some bells. They could market some bells and whistles. What the fuck are you marketing the PSVR 2 to? What are you marketing? Who's the audience for this? Really? The 5 million people who bought the first one? Because the PlayStation 4 owners last generation didn't give a damn about VR. They're writing this off. The moment they see the price, they're writing that off. This is the PlayStation 3 all over again, where they were telling me, oh, you need to get a second job for the PlayStation 3 and all this other nonsense. And the console didn't sell until it was dropped to like $300. Zink said he'd been laughing all day. Hey, man, I don't blame you. I was more stunned than laughing. Zink, because the pricing is just so baffling that I couldn't wrap my head around it. I couldn't wrap my head around it when you showed it to me, and then I saw Sega Man talk about it, and it's just and you try to put two and two together. Like what's the strategy? What's going to make them the money back? You know what I'm saying? It. And actually, here's another question: how expensive was R&D on the PlayStation VR 2 that is this expensive? Because I don't understand why it's $550. Was the R&D this expensive that this is the price point that they felt like was best for them? Really more expensive? It is more expensive to buy a PlayStation VR 2 next February than the PlayStation 5, which is for some people still hard to find. None of that makes sense. Dirt said, I actually seen ponies defending it. I'm not surprised. See, I didn't check consensus on it. I didn't go see anybody talk about it. I saw the news and I figured I'm just gonna talk about this real quick. I'm not surprised to see them defending it. Because I mean, let's be real, Dirt. A couple of months ago, they defended the price increase of the PlayStation 5 console in all markets but the US. So it is not the least bit surprising. They'll defend anything, man. So Sony are going to end up selling them a $700 PlayStation 6, and they gonna start taking out loans and stuff to get the damn console. All right, Zink said, B Rap. Who's B Rap? Zink was trying to defend the PlayStation 2 on Hojlaw's show. Okay. He must be somebody that works with him. Okay. I think I did not watch the video, but I did see a link to it earlier. I did not watch Hojlaw's video though. I didn't watch it, but You know, I don't know how you defend this. Let's be real. If Xbox gave us a product for five that was more expensive than the Xbox Series S X, I mean, and it couldn't play your games, and it only played VR games. Do you know Do you know how angry B Rap would be? How angry every podcaster would be? How endless articles on how terrible the pricing is towards it from IGN and every other outlet. It would be nonstop. It would be nonstop if that was the case. And Zink said he's a podcast. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Why is it so hard for them to just say Sony fucked up? Why can't they just admit that just once? Just once say, you know what, Sony, this ain't right, man. This is too much. Nobody's gonna buy this. You're not gonna die if you criticize Sony, PlayStation fanboys. You're not. All right. So Sony's not gonna give you a cookie because you refuse to hold them to any standard. You refuse to add any critique towards them. And Dirt Zink said the other thing, man, about how they were outraged by an Xbox price hike that didn't happen. Exactly. So for them, their anger's towards stuff that doesn't even exist. but this PSVR pricing, oh no, no, we gotta make the excuses for them. No, come on now. Come on now. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works at all, man. See, spoke on that. Yeah, man. Yeah, I did speak on that not long ago. Uh, because apparent it's funny. I always said this, man. Xbox has held the high standards, Sony's held the low standards, and Nintendo's held the no standards. And if there's ever a moment that shows that this is it, a part of me wish Microsoft did have a $550 product out there, just to see the reaction. Just to see how that'll be the only talking point we hear for like 3 weeks straight, right? About how terrible this is. Look, matter of fact, the same people who defended the PlayStation 5 console getting a price increase were upset about an Xbox price hike that hasn't happened. And really, um, and plus, if the Xbox price hike happens, first of all, I think it would be Game Pass. I don't think it'll be a console. I don't think it'll be the console. I think it'll be Game Pass that would get the price increase. And to that, I'd say, well, Netflix used to be $8 a month. Now it's like $21. So it could be worse. And plus, they're going to have the Activision games and all this other stuff. But that's the Activision. So a price increase, it excuse me, their price increase would suck because I'm almost never for paying more for a product. But yeah, I also wouldn't also could kind of see that happening. I don't see them raising the price on the console though. I don't see the Xbox Series X or S price going up. I just don't see it under any stretch of the imagination. You know, so but Game Pass price going up, yeah, I can. I think it'll suck if it did happen, but yeah, not the consoles. If that happened, I would be beyond stunned. I'd be happy that I owned a Series X already. And speaking of Xbox, I believe there's some Xbox news out there that wasn't just this invisible price hike or the Idos Montreal working on Fable thing. I'm trying to remember. Oh well, the point of this video was mostly about PlayStation VR, that price, because at $550, I would love someone to comment someday and just tell me, yeah, I bought it at that price. Because I would love to have a discussion with you on why. Is VR that amazing that you're willing to pay more for it than you did for Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5? Let's see here. Zinc said PlayStation Network lost 2 million subscribers. Yes, that's true. Lost 2 million subscribers months after the relaunch. That is true. But we already knew that PlayStation Plus wasn't comparable to Game Pass in terms of overall quality. And Sony could play coy and try to combine the PlayStation Network number with the PlayStation Plus numbers to make it seem bigger than it actually is. But we know that both Xbox Live and Game Pass are far superior than PlayStation Plus, right? And even with the news last week of Game Pass not reaching the numbers they predicted, it still went up. It's not like the numbers went down for Game Pass, right? Like it objectively went down for a PlayStation Plus here. And this is a company didn't they lose like 49% of a revenue or something like that? Zink said Sony said it's because people are going outside. My goodness, man. Sony has worse excuses than a 5-year-old. Really? Is that what that's the best they came up with? That's the best they told financial reports and shareholders. People went outside. And that's why they were like, you know what? I might be subscribed to PlayStation Plus, but nah, it's not even summertime anymore, so I can't even use that. Yeah, that's a wild excuse. That's actually that's funny, man. That's funny, Zinc. People are going outside. 2 million people, 2 million subscribers canceled their subscriptions because outside was better than their video games. Okay, man. Okay, Sony. And the thing about these subscription services, I know that they want it to be like to be like one of the things that you just have it on automatic payments, right? So that you're subscribed to it and you just kind of forget about it. For example, Amazon Prime. At this point, it just takes some money out my account, or Netflix just takes some money out my account. I already have it budgeted, and it's just such a low amount per month that it's not a big deal. Hey, what's up, Jeremy Brown? Yeah, man. So Sony charging $550, man, for that PlayStation VR 2. And the controller that comes with it is apparently $210. The bundle with Horizon Forbidden Entertainment is $600. Yo, the pricing. I can't remember the last time a product shot themselves in the foot with pricing like this with Jeremy. I thought when phones were over $1,000 that would have been it, but no, phone sales still kept climbing and people still love their annual phones. This people ain't buying the VR for that price. Come on now. Come on now. Yeah, man. Jeremy's that dude, man. Jeremy's that dude, man. I love the chat as always. Jimmy Brown said, "Boy, once that Activision Blizzard King deal goes through, that's the beginning of the end for Sony." Yeah, yeah. You see that's stuff like that is kind of why that whole Call of Duty thing been at the forefront all year long since January. Because if Sony's got to charge you, if Sony's got to raise prices on the PS5, got to charge you $550 for the PSVR, losing 2 million subscribers for PlayStation Plus after rebranding it to quote unquote make it better. And the thing, you know what? I'm gonna even be fair to Sony. Sony's PlayStation Plus Essential or whatever their highest tier one is, it actually has Ubisoft Plus, which Microsoft's Game Pass doesn't have yet. But Ubisoft Plus is coming to the Xbox. Ubisoft has said that for the longest. I think with Ubisoft Plus not being on Game Pass yet, it's probably some type of exclusivity deal similar to what Sony be doing with the games. Well, I have a gut feeling Sony said, all right, for a year or two, no Ubisoft Plus on Xbox. But Ubisoft got a good relationship with Microsoft, so it's going to happen anyway. Yeah, yeah, Jeremy Brown. It's a beautiful evening, man. Beautiful evening. Great night to talk about some video games. You know what I'm saying? Zink said, "Yeah, man, those prices made my day." Yo, hey Jeremy, like I told Zink, I was stunned. I was stunned because he's the one who sent me the original prices. He sent me the price of the PSVR, and I was stunned. I couldn't believe it, man. But I knew I had to talk about it because 550 for a gimmick, just mind blown, mind blown. Ubisoft Plus coming to game. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, Jeremy Brown, you're right. I'm just saying it's not there yet. So I think the reason it's not there yet is probably some exclusivity deal because Sony loves time exclusivity. I wouldn't be surprised if they did time exclusivity for services too. Game Pass with free EA Play. Yeah, man, that EA Play comes in the clutch too. And then my favorite game from EA Play, Bobby, is stuff like Alice, Madness Returns, excellent game. Lost in Random, great game. Um, what's the shooter? Crisis, the Crisis games, Battlefront games, and they put the sports games on there too eventually. So you'll be playing Madden 23 off Game Pass in no time. And right now I think you could do what is it? The trial for the modern sports games too on EA. So EA Play, excellent deal with Game Pass Ultimate. Today was a good. Hey, yeah, that's right, Jamie Brown. He went with that old school classic rap with that one. 820 in Canada. Yeah, ain't 1999. 820 in Canada. It's disgusting. The Canadians really aren't paying that shit. That's the arrogance of Sony. PS3, nah, this is much worse than the arrogance. Yeah, this is. I don't know what it is, man. And like I said, Jeremy, I don't know. I don't know if the R&D was this so expensive that this is the conclusion they came to, that they're gonna charge people $550 American for a gimmick that let's not forget, PlayStation VR 1 5 million units. That's it on a console that we were told sold over 110 million. That's it. Not even they can't even get 10% of their audience to buy PlayStation VR. Do they? What do they think PlayStation VR 2 is going to do at that price? It's dead. It's dead. They might as well just cancel it and take the loss on the R&D. It's that dead. I didn't have to use my AK. Oh yeah, from the song. Yeah, man. But like I said, listen, when only 5 million people bought PlayStation VR 1, it tells you that the market is extremely limited. It's just not a selling point. There's a reason why Xbox never did a Xbox VR. And people on Twitter try to cry about it. Oh, I thought Phil said this, and that. No, no, no. I'm sure I'm sure Microsoft also had money into some VR tech, came to the conclusion people don't it's not worth investing in, and dropped it. And that's why that's the $1 trillion company, and Sony's gotta get handouts, gotta pretend they own Bungie. uh Man, my brother Hebot just dropped a video. I'm gonna go ahead have to check it out after this. And Jeremy Brown said, EA Play being in Game Pass Ultimate allowed me to finish the Dead Space trilogy, Need for Speed Heat, and a few other games. And I'm in love with Mass Effect Limited Edition. Yeah, excellent, excellent point. And I love how you just named a bunch of excellent games I forgot to mention. Mass Effect, one of my favorite damn games ever. And and that's on EA Play. Dead Space trilogy, and that's the thing. The Dead Space remake next year is going to be on EA Play eventually. So I mean, so really, if you're and as stacked as 2023 is, you could save your money on Dead Space and just play it when it hits Game Pass, because you know it will. You know it will. You know the game's coming to Game Pass anyway. All right. You know the game's coming to Game Pass. Damn near every major game does at some point. It feels like. See, my thing with Game Pass and in my buying habits is that if it's a game that I don't want, I'll just be like, yeah, I'll wait 6 months. It'll be on Game Pass. It'll be on Game Pass. and then if I like it enough, I'll get it on sale anyway. Because Sony sought themselves. Yeah, Sony should hit up Plaxico Burris for how much they shooting themselves in the foot, because this ain't right. This ain't right. Listen, I know there are going to be some people trying to defend this, but it ain't going nowhere. Come on now. Listen, you're lying to yourself if you're saying that you're going to be at stores day one in February 2023, dropping $550 on this. Play it for an hour, get motion sickness, then put that shit away. Bobby Dazzle. Honestly, don't think anyone wants it. VR is like kitchen appliance. Use one time, then put it back in a cupboard and forget about it. Yeah, exactly, Bobby. Exactly. Because it's a gimmick. And we've seen time and time again, gimmicks in gaming don't work. You don't get me wrong, you could have some success with a gimmick, but it never lasts, because at the end of the day, gamers like to kick back, sit in their whether it's their PC or their console, kick back in their gaming chair or something like me on my couch and play games that way. Or some people chill on their bed and play games. They don't want to stand up. They don't want to stand up, move around, jump, do all this other shit, because and pretend that's immersive. No, it just doesn't work. It's cool for a little while. It could even be a fun party game type shit, but nobody's paying $550 for a party game. Jeremy Brown. All Sony got is God of War Ragnarok. That's it. Yeah. They say Spider-Man 2 2023, but really, Spider-Man really gonna sway Xbox gamers away from Starfield, Redfall, and Forza Motorsport 2023? Spider-Man, which is gonna be a 20-hour game, maybe a 20-hour game, compared to Starfield, which listen, with those Bethesda RPGs, people are still playing Fallout and Skyrim. All right, just put it out there. Jeremy Brown said, "Mass Effect is beautiful. Want to hear a joke? I wasn't a fan of Mass Effect, so I played the Legendary edition. I always prefer Dragon Age. Yeah, man. See, for me, it's the opposite. I always loved Mass Effect, and I played Mass Effect before Dragon Age, and I like Dragon Age, but I always liked the gameplay loop in Mass Effect more personally. Uh, and so Mass Effect, I've loved it since the moment I played it. It's one of those type of games. But yeah, you're right. And the Legendary Edition, 4K 60 on the Series X and S. So play it if you love them. It's a classic RPG, man, and there's a reason why people love it. Yeah, Plexico. Yeah, man. Yep. For those who don't know, look up what Plexico Burris did. Former New York Giants wide receiver. No, Steelers wide receiver. Actually, might have been both. I think he was on both the Steelers and the Giants. Bobby Dazzle said, Pony Channel's down playing COD because they. Oh, no. they're not downplaying. Really? I got bad news for them, because this Call of Duty, by all reports, was the most successful ever, right? And let me fact check myself real quick. All right, let's see. Oh boy. Sometimes these search engines aren't. All right, so let's see here. I could have sworn I saw something about Call of Duty. This year's Call of Duty being the best selling one so far, or something like that. Mass Effect 2 and 3. Mass Effect, my second and third favorite franchise all time. Yeah, same for me, Zinc. For me, it's number 2 after Assassin's Creed. So the PlayStation 4 gen was Super Bowl 42, and the Sony turnaround cheddar. Yeah. hey, good point, Jeremy, man. Good point, Jeremy. Yeah, man. Yeah, They shouldn't be allowed to own firearms, man. The way they gonna be crippled with all the way they shoot themselves in the foot. James said Mass Effect is brilliant franchise. Made me a believer. Yeah, man. I'm glad you loved it as much as me and Zink did. Let's see. I almost skipped Bobby Dazzled here. It's a party game. Yeah. Let's see. Spider-Man is one and done. Yep. And listen, you see, I'm an Xbox fan who owns a PlayStation 5. I gotta say, I actually enjoyed Spider-Man for what it was. I see my thing with Spider-Man is that I liked the game. I just didn't think it was the best superhero game ever and the greatest story ever told in gaming and all this other shit that people are trying to say about it. It's one of them games like I enjoyed it, but I still found it overrated, man. It's like geez, yeah, it's a situation like that where yeah, I enjoyed the game because I love superhero games. You know what I'm saying? Love them. I've been a comic book fan all my life, so superhero games tend to be right up my alley. So I enjoyed Spider Man. Um, I enjoyed Spider Man. Miles Morales was okay. My problem with Miles Morales is that there's no way a kid from New York, a 17-year-old from New York, should sound like an 11-year-old crybaby. His voice actor was horrible. All he did was sound like he was going to cry every line. I'm like, nah, man. I've been to New York plenty of times in my life. New Yorkers do not sound like they're going to cry because something don't go their way. Are you kidding me? You go to New York, you walk around and somebody like, man, fuck you. That's New York. They'll tell you to shut the fuck up and no time. Jeremy Brown says still. That's right. That's right. That's right. He was on the Steelers, then the Giants. You're right. And you don't know what Jeremy Brown's referring to. We were talking about, I made a Plaxico Burris joke earlier. Yeah, that's right. He was on the Steelers, then the Giants. Call of Duty outsold Top Gun and Doctor Strange combined. See, Call of Duty is a monster of a franchise. And look, we all know that there's a reason that game is at the center of all this Activision discussion. And it's funny because uh people are sleeping on King, that part of the Activision deal, but that's a topic for another day. Okay. Uh no, listen not. All right. And thank you to my brother Jeremy. Oh, I'm catching up with the comments, but I'm gonna get to that. Thank you for pointing that out, Jeremy. I'm gonna get to that in just a second. Let me catch up on the comments. Jeremy, and he went to jail for shooting. Yeah, that's right. He did go to jail for shooting himself in the foot. There it is. Okay, so Jeremy Brown said Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, $800 million in 3 days. And so that's what I went to look up, and he's absolutely right. I knew I saw something. I know I saw something about it success somewhere. And just look at that, man. $800 million in 3 days and remember, Jeremy, this is a video game series that I could have sworn I heard all year that they're boycotting. The PlayStation fan were boycotting this game. It's trash now. Nobody cares about Call of Duty. I mean, how many of them said that they don't care about Call of Duty only to drop money on it and bring Activision $800 million in 3 days? Now, what do you think Microsoft's going to do with another game, another billion-dollar franchise under their belt, where they already know how to make, as my brother the Zinc always said, return on reserves with their other big games? That's the thing. PlayStation fanboys don't want caught outselling, getting higher scores. Hey, man, it already outsold God of War, and God of War ain't even out yet. You know damn well, Bobby, God of War Ragnarok is not going to sell 800 million. It's not going to make $800 million in 3 days. You know that is not happening in any alternate universe that exists on any other planet and on any other dimension. That God of War is going to make $800 million in 3 days like Call of Duty. No, it could get. Listen, Call of Duty is so popular that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if IGN gave it a 6 out of 10. It's Call of Duty. Every year, gamers line up at stores or download it on their consoles. Every year, they get Call of Duty. It becomes the best selling game, and then people go back to complaining as if the series is dead. All right, I'm just all right. All right, so I'm pulling up another article here to kind of prove my point. Just bear with me as I'm looking for it. Where are you? Where are you? I think. Uh, all right, just bear with me real quick, guys. But yeah, man, my I mean, the point is, um, you know, I don't see. Here's the thing: don't waste your time comparing God of War to Call of Duty. I don't care if you like God of War and hate Call of Duty or what, because the Call of Duty, for example, was the best selling game for like 14 years in a row. Okay, here it is. This is what I was looking for. Call of Duty remains the best selling franchise in the US for the 14th year in a row. And this was from last year. All right. It check that as 15 years in a row. All right. Call of Duty is popularity is on a different level. Already outsold. Yeah, exactly, Jeremy Brown. Because Sony only has $1 billion franchise, and that's Gran Turismo. And we saw with Gran Turismo 7 this year, it's not the same. It's not the same it used to be. It peaked years ago. Like Final Fantasy peaked in 1997. Let's see. Bobby Dow said, I've seen a few ponies. Of course, they're going to try to downplay COD because although they bought COD, although they're going to play Call of Duty more than every exclusive combined, although they drop money to pre-order it, it's now an Xbox game. It's now an Xbox first party game or close to it, and so now they're going to sit there and pretend, Bobby, that oh they never liked COD. The number something's not adding up. If COD is so bad, how does it make 800 million in 3 days? Something's not adding up. Is it the terrible franchise that you say it is, or do you actually love it? But since it's under Xbox, you got to pretend that you don't. I saw people who pretended to boycott Activision and all this other stuff still drop $70 for Call of Duty. You can't help yourself. Zink said Gran Turismo 7 is Gran Turismo Sport DLC. Yeah, man, basically with no modern cars. Bobby said Pony see Call of Duty as Microsoft now, even though, yeah, exactly. I mean, they're going to own it, so I get it. I get it. I get it. They're going to own it. This Activision deal is going through. That's why it's not even worth being upset, complaining about the CMA and all that shit, because they're going to own it next year, and all that's going to happen. Listen, one or two things are going to happen next year, Bobby. One, Microsoft owns it. People jump from PlayStation to Xbox who plays Call of Duty. Or two, for the first year, is going to outsell the PlayStation version is going to outsell the Xbox version for the first year. It's not going to last. Then they're going to be like, oh, you see, we support COD more than y'all do. It's not going to last because the moment Sony stops getting the exclusive content first, they're going to jump to Xbox. That's all that's going to happen because Xbox is going to get all the exclusive content first. You're saying Modern Warfare 2 makes it. Yeah. Modern Warfare 2. I'm saying it right now. It made $800 million in 3 days. This reminds me when Halo 5 made $500 million in its first weekend back in 2015. No Sony games doing that. Not even close, man. Not even close. Not even close, Jeremy. See, I didn't even know that there's a Final Fantasy 16 trailer. Because let's look, Jeremy. Final Fantasy 16 peaked in 1997 with a game called Final Fantasy 7. Ever since then, it's been downhill. Go watch any video of Final Fantasy. They hate these modern Final Fantasy games. And I know Final Fantasy 14 as an MMO had a lot of success on PC and PlayStation, but that's probably it. All right. Fact, Zink. GT is another Sony glorified. Yeah, all their PlayStation 5 games this gen has pretty much been glorified DLC. God of War Ragnarok was DLC of God of War turned to a full game. Same with Miles Morales. Horizon Soulborn. It was probably would have been better off as DLC than a full game. Yeah, man. Look, like I said, Zink, I didn't even know that there was a Final Fantasy 16 trailer. But look, it's November. It's the time of year the big holiday games are releasing. You know, for people like me, we just enjoying Gotham Knights. Now Call of Duty makes crazy money in 3 days, and people gonna be playing that all year. The Halo content comes out later this month, right? The Halo content, so people gonna be playing that. There's there's no reason to care about Final Fantasy. All right, there's no reason to. Jeremy Brown said, "Reveal of Silent Hill was hot for a minute. Yeah, it was hot until people saw the PlayStation logo, and half of them were like, oh well, I'll wake me up when it's on Xbox." And the other half hates Bloober Team because they hated the medium. So I don't know why they'd be excited for Silent Hill. You know, so let me get this straight. With Silent Hill developed by Bloober Team, who made the medium, they hated the medium. They hated the medium. So I know they're gonna hate Silent Hill. Or in the typical PlayStation circle jerk, they hate it. They'll hate it, then they'll like it until it goes somewhere else, and they'll hate it. Final Fantasy 7 been overrated. 8, 9, 10, 12, 13 were all better than 7, but they remade it because the characters are so popular. Yeah, that's probably so. I played Final Fantasy 13 a little bit when it first became backwards compatible because it had like the 4K update and all that stuff on the Xbox One X. And my issue with Final Fantasy 13, Jeremy, is that it took linear to a whole new level. It really just felt like you're walking straight, running straight the whole time. November 8th, Halo Infinite drops. See, there we go. Props to Microsoft. They dropped Halo Infinite a day before God of War releases. That's funny. I like that. That's funny. Jeremy Brown said Halo got some good news in Houston. Oh yeah, definitely. The Halo community could be a little frustrating for my tank, but at the end of the day, when Halo drops, the Halo community is gonna be all over it. Forza Motorsport 7 killed GT7, and it's 7 years old. Oh no! I'm sorry. Forza Motorsport is years old. Yeah, it's 5 years old to be specific, Bobby. And yeah, man, what Forza Motorsport 7 was doing in 2015 was amazing. Fun fact: Forza Motorsport 7 was the first game I ever played on my Xbox One X at the time, and I loved it, man. I loved that game. Silent Hill coming. Yes, it is coming to Xbox. It's just 1 year exclusive on PlayStation. They hated the medium because it was on Xbox first. Yeah, exactly. And the medium was a good game, and I have no doubt Silent Hill will be a good game. It's just gonna be funny to watch watch them flip flop based on what console the game's on, which has always been weird to me. It's always been weird to me. If I could give Spider-Man props, Sony fans could give something that's not exclusive props. Forza Motorsport 7 was my game. Native 4K 60. Yep, exactly. Ran like a dream. Never crashed. Never had issues. It was just a perfect racing game. Zink. That's why it's my favorite racing game of last generation. I love that game. Loved it. Final Fantasy was my favorite other than 8 and 9. It was linear, but that's because the content was cut. Okay. All right. What did you like 13 or did you like the sequels? I know that there's Lightning Return in 13 too. Because I own all three on the Xbox. Because when they went backwards compatible, I went ahead and picked them up because they were super cheap too at the time, like $5 each. Can't wait for the new Forza Motorsport. Yeah, me neither, Bobby. Me neither. And Zinc Forza Motorsport 2033 is my most anticipated game. Hey, I'm not mad at that. For me, it's Starfield. At least for games that we know is coming. It's Starfield. That's my number one. because I'm the RPG fan. But yeah, man, Forza Motorsport is gonna be brilliant. Oh man, I cannot wait. That the showcase, man. I remember the showcase and they showed the lighting and all that stuff, especially the gameplay at night, blew me away. Blew me away. Let's be real. Microsoft makes the best racing games in the business, and everybody else is just catching up. Ponies will never show Xbox love without backhanded compliment. Of course not. Of course not. Because yeah, there's a weird superiority complex, whatever you want to call it, with them, man. Where to them, gaming begins and ends with PlayStation, and everything else is just existing in that bubble. All right, Jeremy Brown said the other games are cool, but there's something special about 13 to me personally. Hey, that's what's up, man. You see, just because a game didn't click with me doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. I'm glad you love Final Fantasy 13. Because we all got games that we love that someone else might not. I could list a number of them. Mafia 3, loved that game. Crackdown 3, really loved that game. Hell, my favorite Tomb Raider the trilogy wasn't Rise; it was actually Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Yeah, it was actually Shadow of the Tomb Raider. As you said, right? Same. Yeah, man. Yeah. Look. It's crazy how much we got coming in the way of Xbox, right? Just so much down the line, man. At this point, I just wish I had a time machine so I could go in the future and play some of these games. Because it just sucks that there's no release date, for example, for Starfield or Redfall or Forza yet. Right now, all I know is that they're coming next year, and they're coming in the first half of next year because that was a big talking point from their showcase back in June. I would love an official release date on all them games. You know, I would love to see more Avowed and Hellblade 2 and Fable, Perfect Dark, Everwild. There Xbox has and Xbox has the most games in development at the same time that I could ever remember. And it's stuff like that. That's the type of stuff that just make me think, man, how can you not love this hobby? How can you not? You see how dude said on Next Generation that Phil Xbox hasn't had a good game. Really, they haven't had a good game in 5 years. What was Flight Simulator? What was Forza Horizon 5? What was Halo Infinite? What was The Ascent? What was the gunk? Get out of here with that. No good game in 5 years. Actually, 5 years, that's 2017. So, State of K2 came out in 2018. You're never going to convince me that's not an amazing game. Fuck out of here. But that's the thing, Jeremy. Before I get to a Zinc comment, that's the thing, Jeremy. That's why I don't put any stock in reviews, other people's opinions, general consensus. That's why my opinion is always based on how of when I play the game. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, they can't. Nobody could tell you what your experiences is. Uh, Look, I said my issue with Final Fantasy 13 was it felt like it was too linear. Jeremy said he loved it. It was his favorite one. Who am I to then say, well, you can't like Final Fantasy 13? No, out of here. I'm never going to tell him that. We're going to disagree on opinions, which is normal, and then we both move on because at the end of the day, gaming's supposed to be fun. And if you're not playing a game, you're not. If you're playing games you don't enjoy, you're doing it wrong. That's how I see it. Yeah, they all can't miss game. And Redfall, I think people for some reason are sleeping on Redfall hard, Zinc, and I don't know why. Because Arcane Studios' track record is phenomenal. The Dishonored games were my favorite of the Bethesda games. Before they started showing Starfield, those Dishonored games are some of the best stealth games I've ever played. And the way that game works, it's kind of crazy because if you kill them too much, you get a worse ending, you know, and stuff like that. Deathloop was a great game, and so Redfall is going to be amazing. Grounded, yeah, Grounded. Obsidian has zero bad games, so it's no surprise. Grounded was awesome. And people are going to sleep on that game strictly because of its art style. Redfall just keeps getting better with every trailer. Yep. Oh man, is that true, Jeremy, or what? Redfall looks like my woo. Redfall might end up. I could see a situation, Jeremy, where I actually enjoy Redfall more than Starfield, even though I'm looking forward to Starfield more. And that's because like Redfall just seems like one of those games where, or if you're not paying attention to it, but you play it, it kind of hits you like, oh my god, this game is brilliant. Because that's the reaction I had to Dishonored and Prey. You know what I'm saying? Folks, listen, I personally will guarantee you 1 year good luck if you smash that like button. Hey, thank you, Bobby. Thank you for the support, man. That Redfall trailer was awesome. Yes, it was, Zinc. Yes, it was. I love State of Decay 2. Can't wait for 3. Yeah, man. State of Decay 3 is gonna be excellent. And if you remember that trailer they showed with the black woman, they said that she was an in-game model. So that's really going to be so that's just telling me State of K3 is the vision they had with Microsoft budget. So that's going to be something special. Yep, we'll have Redfall will be campaign co-op. You're absolutely right, and that's one of the things I always liked about Xbox Inc. You got the option of single player or co-op or multiplayer in most of their games, and you know. You know, single player is great. Love single player, but having the option of co-op, I think, is always a fantastic way of doing it too. Little Conqueror. Hey, thank you for joining, Little Conqueror. He said, I'm really looking forward to Redfall. Yeah, me too, man. Redfall looks excellent. Obsidian is the biggest steal. Yes. You know, the way that people say, oh, Sony got a steal with Insomniac, they're going to be saying that about Obsidian and Obsidian's not going to get their credit until a Valve releases, unfortunately. But if you look at their track record, The Outer Worlds was fantastic. That South Park game they made was fantastic. Fallout New Vegas to me is the best Fallout game ever made. The Star Wars game they made was fantastic. They made Alpha Protocol back on the Xbox 360 days, which in an era where all them games were trying to do that whole your choices matter thing. That's one of the few games that actually did it right. So they got zero bad games in their library. For some reason, people are sleeping so hard on Obsidian, and I think it's because they haven't had that big AAA game that Avowed is going to be. And once Avowed comes out, then people are going to jump on the bandwagon that we're already on, Jeremy. Yeah, man, Prey was awesome. Prey is awesome too, Lil Conqueror. Let's see. Hey, J-Con. He said 550 USD is a lot, but if you want the PSVR 2, it's not standalone, so you have to spend another 550 on top of for the VR set to buy. Yeah, great point, J-Con. Um, you need the console to play PlayStation VR 2, so that is just it's mind-boggling to me that they went with this absurd price. Because yeah, I mean, I remember back in the day, Sega had like the Sega CD and all that stuff. The Sega CD was not more expensive than the Sega Genesis, and so this is just so baffling to me, J-Con. It makes zero sense to me that Sony went with that price. But hey, man, if they're going to shoot themselves in the foot like that, who am I? Who am I to tell them otherwise? Wait, that was in game. That's crazy. Phil really told them to turn. Yep, that's in game. Because what happened with Undead Labs is the same that happened with Ninja Theory, where when they joined Xbox Game Studios, they pretty much got a whole new studio, was able to hire more people, was able to get a larger budget, and it's fully funded by Microsoft, Jeremy. So State of K3 is going to blow people away comparing it to 2. And I can't wait to see it and play it. Jeremy Brown said Xbox giving everybody the AAA, but yep. Hey man, Microsoft got deep pockets. Xbox got deep pockets, Jeremy. And when your pockets are that deep, you know, you can support these devs like crazy. Hey, you know what, Jeremy? Everybody talks about supporting devs. I don't think anybody supporting devs better than that Xbox wallet. Zinc pointing out to J-Con that the Canadian version of PSVR is an insane $820 Canadian. Dead on arrival. Obsidian is composed of RPG vets. They made some of the greatest CRPGs back in the day. Yeah, back in the Interplay days as Black Ops Studios. Yes, you're right. Planescape, Torment, and Fallout 2. You're absolutely right, Radiance. Their track record in the RPG genre is like none other. Unfortunately, like I said, Radiance, for some reason, when people talk about Xbox best studios, they're kind of they're sleeping on them for some reason, and I think it's because in modern times they haven't had that real big triple A, mind blowing game, the level of like a Skyrim type. Because remember, they made Fallout New Vegas, and a lot of Fallout fans would argue that's probably the best Fallout game, right? And so they make excellent games, man, and I can't wait for Avowed. That's why Avowed, of every game Microsoft has shown, Avowed is number one on my list, even above like your Starfields and Fables. Jeremy Brown said another Series S just arrived today. Hey, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. You helping the Xbox community grow. Eh, Jeremy doing the Lord's work out there, everybody. Radiance 96. Yes, that's right. And Exiled our RPG vets too. Yep, you are absolutely right. With In Exile, I don't know what they're working on though. That's the only thing. That's the only thing about In Exile. They're so quiet. They've been so quiet since they were acquired by Microsoft that because they released Wasteland 3, and then after that, I don't think we've heard anything from them. So they've been so quiet that if they really are falling under the radar with their potential. Last I heard, I think they're making like a third person RPG. I think, but don't quote me on that. Don't forget they made New Vegas. Yes, they did. Yep. Yeah, man. Microsoft the Western RPG market on lock. Bethesda, Obsidian, and Exile, just the best of the best out there. And as an RPG lover, Jeremy, oh man, you don't know how much I'm gonna love this generation, because we getting, as you mentioned, Avowed and Starfield potentially in the same year. I hope the rumors are true that the big holiday game of 2023 are going to be Hellblade and Avowed. Oh man, because that'll make 2023 for Microsoft one of the best years ever. Because let's not forget, even though we're going to get those games, there's still going to be Halo content in 2023. There's still going to be Forza content in 2023. So those games are still going to be supported along with the new games we get. Exile getting that. Yes, they are. They're getting that AAA budget as well. Yep, they fully funded and backed by Microsoft. No questions asked. You will laugh at me, but I'm looking forward to that Monkey Island. No, no, no. Hey, man, if that's what you're looking forward to, that's what you like. I ain't going. I can't hate on somebody who likes a video game. All right, that Monkey Island might be fire, and I'm just sleeping on it. So hey, man. So when it hits, I hope you enjoy it, man. I hope you do. And if it's on Nintendo, I hope it gets a release on Xbox as well, because that's where I do my gaming. After 2023, Xbox after 2023 will not be matched. You are spot on, Jeremy. You are absolutely spot on, man. 2023 just looks like another phenomenal year for Xbox, potentially topping 2021. Um, uh, and it's gonna bring back that positivity in the Xbox community that I always love, because that's my favorite, man. When the Xbox community, gaming community, is just positive, we just enjoying games, and we having fun. We having fun like we are tonight on this stream here. So yes, unlimited. That's the beauty of Xbox game. They have longevity. Yep, and it's crazy. Even their RPGs and single player games are going to have more longevity than Sony games. Because you can't, for everyone like me who loves State of K2, you can't tell me that game didn't have you addicted. You put more hours into that than you will into 10-hour, 5-hour God of War. Beat that bitch in 5 hours and move on. Move on to talking about Xbox. CA3D's content in 2023, Flight Simulator, grounded content. Yeah, exactly, Zinc. Microsoft games are they just last. They last so long that yeah, they last so long, Zinc, that's why I believe the Halo Infinite guys were like they got a 10-year plan for Halo and stuff like that. Folks acting like Halo, Forza Horizon 5, Grounded, Sea of Thieves, Flight Simulator, Age of Empires 4, and State of K2 aren't still hot. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And let's not forget, games like State of K2 had over 15 million players. Grounded had over 10 million, right? And had a million within that first month. Forza Horizon 5 had 20 million within a month, and Halo had 28 million in their first month. No Sony game matches that. And then when Call of Duty joins the Xbox family, we're gonna add another $1 billion franchise to that. Little Conquer said, I'm looking forward to the little game called Somerville. Yes, 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 yes. Somerville is coming to Game Pass this month. That's right. That game looks like it's going to be dope too. And Little Conquer actually brought up another great point. Xbox have brilliant games, both big and small. Indie, AA, AAA, however you want to categorize them. You know, they just got brilliant and creative games from top to bottom. And it said 2023 is going to be the greatest year in gaming. Baldur's Gate 3, Starfield, Redfall, Harry Potter, Dead Space, Forza Motorsport, Stalker 2, just to name a few. Ah, damn, that year is packed. Yeah, 2023 is massive. When I think of some of the best years in gaming, you think of like a 1998, a 2007. Uh, I'm going to wager that 2023 is going to be even more packed than those years. Sony could never. No, man. Sony could never because one, they're making less AAA games. Two, they only care about AAA games, Jeremy. So smaller games they really don't give a fuck about. And three, they only make one style of games. So when you make one type of game, you give it a massive $100 million budget, and you're going to make fewer of them. How are you going to compete to what Xbox is doing? You can't. You can't because Xbox isn't just giving us RPGs. They're going to give us RPGs, zombie survival, racing, first person shooter, third person shooter, RTS, strategy, all types of genres. Radiant said, and yet you got clowns saying that gaming is bad now. Yeah, Radiance. That's one of my biggest pet peeves, man. One of my biggest pet peeves is when I see people, especially these YouTubers with large platforms and million subscribers, act like gaming is in this horrible state where there's nothing to play, nothing is fun anymore, and everything is microtransaction garbage. Now, if you play Fortnite and GTA and that's all you play, of course you're good. Of course you're going to be deal with microtransactions because that's what those games do to make money. But uh, listen, I've been playing Gotham Knights. I haven't dropped a dime on a suit or something like that on the game, right? Since playing it, most games aren't these ridiculously, you know, aren't games with ridiculous business practices. Not even close. Bobby Dazzle, folks, share that love. Hey, thank you again for the support, Bobby. Much respect. Jimmy Brown said that's only some of the 2023 lineup. That's what makes it crazy. Yeah, man, that is because for Xbox specifically, we only know what's coming in that first half. So January to June. After that, we have no clue. And they're going to do a show next summer, next June, and then we're going to find out what we're getting in 2020, the latter half of 2023 and 2024. It's beautiful. Yeah, the versatility on Xbox and Game Pass is unmatched. Zink said, I forgot about Harry Potter. And what about Indiana Jones? Yeah, Indiana Jones being produced, I'm sorry, developed by one of Bethesda studios too. I forgot which one off the top of my head, but again, excellent time to be a gamer. Actually, look, things are so good. We're even getting interesting licensed games now. And I don't know if y'all remember when licensed games, especially moving time games, were just some of the worst games out there. You know, they just be these cheap cash grabs. Now you get the big budget Indiana Jones. Now you get the big budget Harry Potter. We're getting a 007 game made by oh, I forgot who's making the 007 game too. But again, we're getting a big budget 007 James Bond game. You know, so we're even getting excellent license games, something that was something that for a long time in gaming was actually the bane of game quality. Fiery dreams. That's real marketing. Yep, you're absolutely right, Jeremy. And with that, guys, I think I'm gonna call it a night. I had a great time hanging out with y'all. I'm glad everybody was able to join. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I enjoyed producing the show for you guys. You know, enjoy the rest of your week, everyone. Let's get back to enjoying that gaming, enjoying that gaming talk, enjoying that gaming discussion. And with that, I'm out.